Hello, I'm Jorge Batista. I'm a computer engineer and I'm the co-founder and tech lead of CryptAPI, which is a cryptocurrency payment gateway that enables anyone that has an online business and wants to accept cryptocurrencies in their shop or platform to do it in an easy and straightforward manner. I started working on this sector about 5 years ago. We started on this project for CryptAPI. First, it was to solve a problem because I was developing custom-made software for clients, and these clients wanted to have an easy way to accept multiple cryptocurrencies. So we looked into the alternatives that existed at that time, and we saw that there weren't many good and easy to implement ways, and we saw and we thought that we could do better, and that's how it started. And we developed a system that allows anyone to accept not just one cryptocurrency but many cryptocurrencies in a very intuitive manner. And once we solved that problem, we realized that other people had the same problem as us. So we made that project a standalone project, and we made a company out of it, basically. Before that, I was working as a full stack from freelance developer, making custom software for clients from web to mobile to everything in between. What I find most interesting is that it's a very recent ecosystem, and it's a very active ecosystem. So it's very exciting to see everything unfold with the potential that it has, and with it's like the internet 20 years ago, and we are still just grasping what can be done. And what the future, how it can impact our future. And for me, that's the most interesting part about it. And it's also the most challenging part, because at the same time, the most challenging part is trying to keep up with everything that is happening in the space, because it develops at such a breakneck speed that you cannot keep up with everything that is happening. There are thousands of different projects, thousands of different companies trying to do, and different communities, and so it's a two-edged sword. So it's very good, very exciting, but also very, very challenging. My main activities at the company are basically to oversee the development, the entire development, to prioritize in terms of development what needs to be done in which priority, and also to develop and help debug the main mission critical parts of the system, namely the ones that handle the customer's funds. And basically I handle the entire development team. The most challenging part of my job is actually to manage the team, and this is probably what I would like to have known before starting this, and it's what I find the most difficult part for me is to manage a team, because there's always there's a different skill set to manage a team than to be a developer. So most of the knowledge that I've gained, actually has been self-taught. I'm a very curious person, and I'm a very I like to understand how things work. I don't like to memorize just things, I like to understand exactly how they work. For instance, if I don't want to memorize that 1 plus 1 equals 2, I want to understand why 1 plus 1 equals 2. So that if I understand how it works, I can apply it to different problem and I can solve different problem. And that's how I learn for myself. Uh, it's to try by trial and error and going and understanding exactly how things work, how things break, what makes things break, and how to avoid things breaking. So in the blockchain space, there are a lot of different areas that require different skill sets. For instance, our system itself doesn't deal directly with the blockchains. We are not developing our own blockchain. We are integrating with the different nodes of the different blockchains. Our system, for instance, is built on Python, and so our team is skilled in Python for the core, and then for the different plugins, it depends. It can be PHP, it can be C Sharp, it can be JavaScript, etc. Then there's a different area which is to develop your own blockchain. This can be done on different languages. For instance, there's Go, which is very used for Ethereum, etc., to develop the Ethereum core, etc. There's Java, for instance, for Tron. There's C++ for Bitcoin, etc. And then there's another completely different area, which is the smart contracts, which most of them are built on Solidity, and you need to code them in Solidity, or some language that then compiles to Solidity. I prefer someone that, even if it's less skilled right now, but it's more eager to learn, than someone who is more skilled but is not trying to learn. And the capacity to learn and to figure things out for themselves, it's what I value the most. Actually, I believe that these are the most important skills, not just for this sector, but for any sector, is to be curious and to have a good capability of problem solving. So if you understand how things work, not just memorize and then forget about it, but actually take the time to understand how things work, you can solve any problem that gets thrown at you. So, as to the future trends, there are a lot of things that are interesting, and namely, you can say NFTs, you can say DeFi, even smart contracts in deeds in smart contracts. There are a lot of different things that are just starting now, and they have immense potential. But in the end, uh, I believe, like I said before, that right now we are like the internet was 20 years ago. And if you went to someone asking like 20 years ago, how would they see internet impacting their lives? Most of them wouldn't have a clue, basically. Some of them would probably say that it was just a fad that would fade away and wouldn't go anywhere. And even if you ask the most skilled people back then, their predictions, their wildest predictions, would probably pale in comparison to how much it has changed our lives and impacted society in general in the last 20 years. It was completely unthinkable what happened in the internet in the last 20 years. And I feel that for blockchain technology and for crypto, um, this is true right now. I think that for crypto, we are in the late 90s, early 2000s of the internet. And right now, we cannot even fathom how much it will change our lives in the future and how much it will impact everything, because for the first time in history we can program money, and that's something that it has never been done before and opens so many possibilities that we cannot even comprehend how much it will change in the next 20 years. So what I wish I knew when I started this job, and what I still think it's the areas that I need to improve more, is in management skills, and especially managing a team, because like I said, it requires a whole different skill set from being a developer to being a manager and managing a team. Well, I suggest that you get started, you go for it, because the space is growing at incredible speed, and the demand for people to work in this space is growing, and for the foreseeable future, then it will not slow down. So if you want to work in this space, be either on developing blockchains, helping develop projects, even if open source projects if that you feel passionate about, or if you want to be more in smart contracts, or even if you are trying to develop your own second layer like our solution on top of blockchain, I just suggest that you do something that you like, that you feel passionate about, and that you go because, um, like I said, demand is still on the rise, and it will stay on the rise for the foreseeable future. So find something that you really like and you feel passionate about, and go for it.